Hello, hello. This is Doc, and I am also known as Dr. Laird. I'm also known as Magnum Suchio. I'm also known as Kenny Goomega, the Goonatic Fringe. I'm also known as the Big Boss Monong. You know, I'm representing the Lumpia Trap House. I'm from the Trap House of Torture. I am him. I am the Turon Don. I am the Dim Sum Don. I am Don Pare. I am a member of the Main Event Filipino Mafia, full-blooded Ilocano up in this thing. I am here today as your host, and joining me today are three really special big dick guys I have here. I'm going to give this guy this intro because this guy is the whole reason I started podcasting, because we were supposed to do something together. You know, our boys know it. He's your favorite poster's favorite poster, if he doesn't have him blocked. He is your boy. He is also part of the Filipino Main Event Mafia. He is a sexy man. He is my boy. He is, of course, Pumping Bomberman, Drew Sexton, the Problematic Dragon, part of my tag team, the Problematic Dragons. And we're finally here. We're finally here, bro. We're finally here.
We're finally here. We're finally here, my man. I can't wait to do it. You've assembled a great panel of guys, a couple of wonderful guys that put out phenomenal content. Over the past day or so, I've familiarized myself with them, and I can't wait to get into a decent conversation. Let's get it going.
Yeah, man. Talking about this, you know, I'm gonna introduce this guy because he came in here. He does videos on defunct pro wrestling. He is one of my favorite YouTubers that gives these little documentaries on these promotions that you had no idea about. But he does it in such a way that's entertaining, engaging, and just plain lovely. I have here a lovely man. He is, you know, you might know him from Wrestlespective. We got here Scott.
Thank you for the intro, Doc. Really appreciate it. Happy to be here with these guys. Yes, Wrestlespective, the home for everything lost, forgotten, and defunct of pro wrestling.
Yeah, I gotta love that professional voice, man. And, of course, last but not least, I have here, this man is so important to me because he's helped me a lot. We've been, like, trading all these ideas about what to talk about, what to do. And, you know, he's just one of the boys. He is the purveyor of Grapplevision, the creator, the visionary behind it. I got Gary Von Erich. I know it's a work name, but welcome to the show, man, and welcome to have you back.
Thank you, appreciate it. I don't know. I don't have nearly as good of an intro as the Wrestlespective guy. He had that nailed and planned. That was too good. I can't follow that. Been set up.
Hey, man, I just want to tell you guys, like, this whole thing, that this thing come together, I wanted you guys to talk with each other to get, because, like, I know, like, this whole thing, like, it's all about community, having people come together to, and, like, you guys are my two favorite. I'm gonna say this, like no bullshit. This is 100% like from the heart. Like, you guys are my two favorite things I look to for every week to watch, every week to get stuff from. And, like, I write notes because I love how you guys deliver your topic. I know, Gary, sometimes you have people do voiceovers. Hopefully I get to do that one day because that's been something that I've always dreamed about doing. And, like, you and Scott do such good work, and I just love having two, as what Drew said earlier. He said, like, big brain guys together, and, you know, I'm all about getting brain. So yeah, I just love to hook you guys up. We were talking a little bit earlier about dead defunct pro wrestling, because, you know, that's what Scott does, talk about defunct pro wrestling. And in particular, we were talking a little bit about WCW. So Gary, do you have any like WCW memories, thoughts, concerns?
I feel I would be a bit late to the party to be concerned about WCW today, but I did love WCW. I don't think I got to be concerned about them anymore though. But there were a lot of nice things I remember about WCW. I was probably more of a WCW follower than the WWF. Like, I was big on the NWA. The name probably gives away. I was big on the Von Erichs. I love like USWA. Love that dying territory era. I enjoyed it because that was You know, like that's kind of like when I'm getting into it, but everything I'm getting into is quickly falling off as I'm getting into it.
Hey,
But
man.
WCW kind of picked up all the pieces of it as it was happening. So I got to keep seeing, you know, the Freebirds. I got to keep seeing all these different acts that I was seeing on the territory. They'd pop up in WCW. So I was pretty big on WCW, even in the dying days. Seeing like the Natural Born Killers, Millionaires Club stuff. It wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like, you know, everybody wasn't doing crazy stuff at that point in wrestling.
Yeah, I think we were talking a little bit about like how Scott Steiner had a pet tiger walk with him down to the ring, and how that was kind of wild at the end of WCW. And
that's the kind of reasonable stuff we were doing.
Yeah,
at that point in wrestling.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
I don't play with it, bitch, I stay with it. See my money change, but I ain't changed with it. People making memes, I just make chicken. Listen how I talk, I so bad with it. In my bag where they found me. I'm the one from the jump, got my talent. Day ones all around, keep me grounded. Keep them hoes on the side with a down, bitch. I ain't said I was gonna chill, but I can't go. It's another day, another bankroll. Speaking on the net, but it ain't smoke. I just really want the pesos.
Hey, like, welcome both of you to a show. You're two of my favorite people to talk with. And like today we're gonna talk a little bit about broken companies because there's a couple other things that I kind of wanted to talk about, but I didn't feel like it. I felt like being talking about stuff that makes me feel good because I'll talk about what makes me feel good, and you know, another RK you could give myself is Dr. Feelgood. And one of the things that makes me feel good is talking about old wrestling, you know, like what the old timers say of when it was good, when it was right, when you were doing it the right way. And like I'm gonna bring this up because like my favorite company growing up, the one company that I looked to for like my comfort food in pro wrestling was WCW. You know, Turner Wrestling. It was everything I wanted from the action to the high flying to the colorful characters. And I'm talking about 1992, 1993, before you know, Hulk Hogan came in and it probably became, you know, it's not hot, brother. And like yeah, so do you guys have memories of WCW that like just kind of like appeals to you or something that just talks to you? Like what is it about? Do you have any memories about this company? Because I love this, and I know you, Scott, you do a channel on Dead Wrestling Promotions. Please check it out. You know, Defunct Wrestling, my favorite show about defunct wrestling promotions. I gotta say,
It's what keeps the channel alive, really. Is so you know, I hate to see wrestling companies go out of business, but there's been so many that have gone out of business that I'll be functioning for a while. So
oh yeah,
That's
man.
fair.
And there I go with my blueberry run-in of the day.
Is that the dogs that old Scott Steiner brought in to attack Sting?
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot
So
about that. I forgot about that stuff. He freaking
yeah,
I remember Scott Steiner brought like a white tiger one time to
yeah.
the ring.
yeah,
As a Georgia native, I'll just say that there was two things that were always on my television. One was WCW, and the other was Braves baseball. And let me tell you, is they got the same entertainment value from both, and I appreciated WCW as much as one could. They had one of my favorite show formats. Whenever they would open with the cruiserweights, and they would run one, maybe two, maybe a cruiserweight title, bring in the TV title, right? When the TV title was actually supposed to be defended on a weekly basis on TV, as the name implies. And then they would roll into the second hour where they would get into more of the heavier guys and the junior heavyweights. And it was this plateauing thing in which they built up through the weight structures. And I thought that was always a good format.
Yeah, you know, weight divisions exist for a reason, right? That's what I always say. But there's always like, you know, there's always talent that stands out from the weight classes. But I did love how they had this division of like the styles in the pro wrestling because you had the junior heavyweights at the time. You had like Brian Pillman, you had Jushin Liger. And then like, you know, they would also interact with the heavyweights. It wasn't just like they were stuck in that division. Because like I remember like I would remember those battle bowls they had, and I remember one time Ted RCD teamed up with Jushin Liger. and like going up in that was like probably one of my first tapes that was rented, and that's when I saw Jushin Liger, and I was like, oh, that guy looks like a superhero. I gotta find out more about this guy. And I love that part of WCW too, like the divisions. I loved how the tag teams in WCW, like you really like felt like there was. I think they had like the U.S. tag titles and the world tag titles, and there was something about that the whole vibe of the promotion was just like something that you and me as a fan, like I could vibe with, especially because my guy growing up, my all-time guy was Sting, like from the cool Bart Simpson hair, the face paint, the flamboyant robes, like Sting was WCW, and like he wasn't something that you saw in WWF at the time because like people try to tell me as a kid, because like I did have this conversation about like wrestling as a kid on the playground, because people will go like, oh, I like the Ultimate Warrior, and I'd be like, nah, Sting's better. He's like, if Ultimate Warrior was like actually good, not like being a smark as a little kid, but just like I hated Ultimate Warrior. Like when Undertaker locked him in the casket and he barfed all over himself, that made me laugh. I know you're too young for that, Drew, but like there was this time when Undertaker would lock people in caskets, and it was funny.
I definitely do remember that. I mean, it's a very funny comp for each other, considering that they broke into the business together. They rode the road, they trained together. That was their foundational days. So to pit them against each other is kind of appropriate in that situation.
Yeah,
I
dude.
I was a big Ultima Dragon guy, still to this day. Dragon Gate's my favorite promotion, maybe of all time. Still love watching Ultima. I thought it was neat to see this buff Japanese dude do a bunch of flyer stuff. And then, I mean, it was just cool. And then, Liger was also obviously like you see this Power Ranger in real life, and he was just a specimen of himself. WCW was just the best.
Yeah,
It was
man.
well to a degree, right? There's plenty of bad things that absolutely I have irritations with, but as far as a company and just running shows, if they want to put on a great match. I mean, we talk about women's wrestling today, and I think we really dismiss just how much women's wrestling WCW did.
Yeah, because there was there was Medusa, like early on, Medusa would have like some matches. I remember like seeing Medusa have a kickboxing match with Paul Heyman back in the day. Um, but like if we move on, like when Medusa jumped back to WCW, and she jumped back, but she brought with her like Luna Vachon. She brought with her Bull Nakano. And then they also brought in like Malia Hosaka. They brought in like Ameko Sanamura, who we see now as like a legend. We see them when they brought Akira Hokuto in. That was like, yo, that they were like really, really trying with like the women's division when a Medusa jumped back, and like the style that they were wrestling. I think Eric Bischoff. I don't really like giving props to Eric Bischoff, but he said like what he liked about having the women wrestlers on is they wrestled a more legit style that had more like karate kicks, more like striking, more like realism to it than you would see like with what people typically think about women's pro wrestling is the hair pulling spots, the stomping, the really crappy like whatever. But out here in WCW, you have Medusa throwing spin kicks to the face of Bull Nakano and German suplexing her on her neck, and like that shit's wild. That shit's cool. I love that.
Yeah, it was aggressive. They weren't in there just laying it up, right? They weren't just trying to see how little amount of bumps they could take. It was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was, man, and that's like a big reason why I love about WCW was the variation on this. good to have other people doing the work for you, and we're starting up again. Because, you know, when you have to rely on yourself, which I did at the beginning, because I was kind of embarrassed to ask anybody for any kind of help, it just gets to be a lot. And like when you guys do your editing on when you guys do the videos, who's doing the editing for you guys? Are you guys doing it on your own? Do you like outsource it? What do you guys do?
So I do all of my own editing, which should be apparent by how shoddy it can be sometimes. But no, I learned like a lot from it, and I feel like all of my videos get better. But I feel like at this point, if I brought in, you know, an editor, it would really like kind of change the style. And I feel like the simplicity of what I do is kind of part of the channel at this point. So now it's like, oh great, now I'm stuck doing this forever. But I enjoy it, so I don't really even want to, you know, outsource it because I really do enjoy it.
That's great.
If you don't mind me asking, how many videos are you in at this point?
So in the channel's current form, we're up to about, I want to say 86 videos.
Yeah, man, that's a decent library
So
in which like to change up your style would really take away from it.
Exactly, and I feel like it's, you know, it's changed, but it's like gotten better. So it's like if there was like a change in, you know, the presentation at this point, it would kind of be, you know, jarring for my audience. So I'm like, I'm going to keep doing it the way I'm doing it. So.
Yeah. So, Doc, you want to bring us back in on something else?
Yeah. I just wanted to like talk about all these things because, you know, when I think about defunct wrestling, I think about WCW. I think about like the territories and like what it meant and like how like we're kind of like thinking about how it goes on and like how things are back in the days and how things were done. And I know that you, Pump, and you, Gary, you guys were actually workers back. Well, I know Gary was a worker back in the day. I know Pump.
I never debuted, right? So I'm not technically a worker. I trained for an extended period of time. I did some extra stuff.
Where'd you train
important. I trained down at the Arizona Pro Wrestling Training Center underneath Don Vitale and one of the AEW security guards, Gabriel King of No Rules Gallo, and Alexander Hammerstone. For a while there, Clark Connors moved to Phoenix, and he was working with us, training a lot of stuff. Danielle Kamala works with us pretty consistently. I keep up with them, so I've been around the business a little bit enough to say that I met some people, but never got my chance because COVID took me out of the game before I could get started.
Yeah, you were talking about before about how guys saw your size and they're like, "Oh, I can make something of this guy."
God, dude, you see a trainer. A trainer sees a guy 6'3", 210, and athletic, and he thinks like, "All right, that's
so
money."
Happy. When people show up over 6 foot tall at this point, they're so happy.
They just.
Gary,
it's remarkable the feeling of like it feels like a beauty pageant almost that you walk in and you have never had a girl look at you in such a way, but you have guys drooling over you and they're just like, man, you have the golden gift.
That's what they call the male gaze, man.
Male.
Yeah, where did you train at? Where did
the
you
wrestling trainer gaze.
Where did you train at, Gary?
Several places. It began, I was just helping somebody at a wrestling thing because I didn't really think that I would be. I just didn't really see myself as a pro wrestler when it first began, and I was doing other stuff. As I start to get into it, I realized that I'm taller than most of them.
That's how it starts.
I can't. Like, the guy was very reluctant. I just wanted, I was going to help out and, be a referee or something. But the more it went, it was, I could just be a wrestler. I always thought that, I'd have to be way bigger to be a wrestler. But then I realized everybody's tiny.
Yeah.
So,
all the work.
I'll just be a wrestler. And I started thinking about, doing, some of the training on the side at this one particular show. And eventually, a fight breaks out between someone who was supposed to be in the main event and the person they were supposed to wrestle. So they don't have anyone for the main event, and everybody else is tired, and they don't want to pay them. So that's how I end up getting in. So after that, I began attending seminars. For the most part, it would there was a guy named like David Michaels, who I was training under a lot when I first started. But after that, I moved on to like seminars with Bullet Bob, Road Dogg.
Wow. Old school, man.
like
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia
But-
Championship's finest.
Pretty much, just all of the Georgia guys. Anytime there was a seminar in the South, I would go to that, and I'd pick up what I could as I was going, because once you do one match, they're like, all right, no, you're a worker now, come on. And they just kind of, you just keep going. But I was not ready at first. I don't think I was worth anything for a very good long while. But I kept going to things, I kept trying to get smarter. And after going to enough seminars and learning enough in the ring, more or less, I got pretty okay.
That's dope, man.
At what point, obviously, calling matches, going through spots, that's all going to come over the sake of time. Like, how long did it take before you felt like you were comfortable in front of the crowd?
Crowd was never the problem.
Really?
I was always fine in front of the crowd. That was, it's very strange. I know that a lot of people will have anxiety about nothing but the crowd.
Yep.
And I guess I get that. There are people who they cannot do anything in front of an audience. They can't do anything in front of a crowd. I get that. I don't have that, but I get it because I've seen it happen to a lot of people. For me, once I'm in the ring, it's almost like everything's in slow motion and there's nothing out there except for what I want to be out. Like I can zoom in on like one person almost, and like I can take it like all in from the crowd, like almost at will. It's a very strange thing, the way an audience works. I don't know if everybody sees it the way that I think most people see it when they first like walk out and they're good with it. Like anybody who's like walked out and like soaked in like an audience, they get that part. The part where they're not even there, where like it feels like everything's going in slow motion in the ring and you're just doing your thing. You can talk basically, and the guy I had really long hair, so I could talk. I know that people who don't have long hair, you don't have the luxury just be able to talk in the ring. You can't just grab somebody, lean down, and your hair covers your mouth. But I don't know. It's just a thing where once I got in the ring, I'm in the ring. It's a natural thing. Once after like 6-7 months of being there, it's just I felt it. It was natural, and I'm not trying to like say it was easy and like people who say wrestling is definitely hard. Don't get that part mistaken. But
Yeah.
it felt like a natural flow and a natural dance because of the way I was taught. It's like the way you grab the guy, the way you always get up on a certain side, you always grab a certain side. If you want a guy to do something, you can do a little thing with your hand. There are so many cues, so many little things you can do to where you don't even have to speak a word. You can work an entire match. You don't even have to take a bump, and everybody can go home and nobody would know the difference. That was the stuff I was fascinated by. I also do like cool moves. Don't get me wrong. I like cool moves. I like doing crazy shit. When I was young, I was somersault out of the ring onto the ground. But
you said you worked with
something about the other part.
You said you worked with Bull Buchanan, right? You worked with Bull Buchanan back in the day, right?
His Boris' son.
Yeah.
I mean, Bull was around. He was always around, and he still worked. I think he still works now
because he used to do some incredible shit.
Retired.
Like,
no, he's very good.
And like, I respect you guys because you're workers. You did that stuff. My whole thing is like I did a lot of training in jiu-jitsu. I trained under a couple of guys. I trained under Eric Paulson, Josh Barnett. My My favorite trainers, because I trained at Millennia MMA. Go to millenniamma.com. I trained under, I'm not sure if there are fighters there anymore, but like Batiste Mansouri was my trainer. Also like Georgi Karakanian. These are guys that I loved working out with. But you know what? When I look at the drills that we did in jiu-jitsu and the drills that you guys do in wrestling, the break falls, the tumbling, all that stuff, like it kind of fits the whole thing. And I always felt like if you're gonna do pro wrestling, you have to have at least some modicum of athleticism to yourself, and you also have to have like a feel of like realism to what you do, because I feel like if you don't know what a real fight is like, or what like even a stage fight is like, because sometimes a stage fight, like you guys watch Jackie Chan movies, right? Sometimes like hits will go through, he takes some crazy bumps, and like if you don't know how to do that and how to react to that, then like how am I supposed to believe in you as a pro wrestler? And like I know we talk about realism and like a little bit of this thing, because today I've decided to do like a little bit of like current event stuff. Thank you for joining us, Scott. I really love that you're here, man. It is like there was this the video that your most recent video, Gary, that you made was about the situation in Knox Pro, where basically we saw an outsider come in and assault somebody, and somebody that came into the backstage. And since you guys, you and Pump like had this background in training there, can you explain like why the backstage, that part where the boys are, why that's sacred?
Gary can speak to this a lot better than me, but I'd like to pose a question to him. Is from all of your experience, right? Is the thing that I've gone back and watched the video multiple times now, is why would he be there?
All right, hold on. I want to ask this because I bet he does have a better take on this one thing more than I would. I will 100% answer this. The gentleman from Wrestlespective. What has the overall thing that you've ended up taking in from the Raja situation been? I mean, I'll say it in a minute, but I want to make sure you get a chance before I act out.
Yeah, of course. So overall, and this is also my opinion, is he had, number one, no business attacking Psycho Stu like that. And
absolutely.
Especially after now there's been videos of Stu apologizing, and it's like, okay, it should have been done there. And then there was the other guy, AJ Mana, I believe, just kind of egging him on and telling him to, to get his receipt in. And clearly it wasn't a set up spot for him to get that receipt to where Stu was like, oh yeah, like, pop me one in the mouth and we'll be good from there. Like, cause he turns around and it's clear it's not like, oh, he's early or something like that. He's not expecting him to be there at all. And next thing you know, he's unconscious. And at least in the consensus I've seen, has been that was, the dude needs to go to prison. So.
That seems about right.
Yeah.
All right. So that is why the back is sacred. See, and you wouldn't even have to be in the back. But what he just said, that's why the back is sacred. That's why being backstage is sacred. All right. So when you're backstage, the boys would just walk around and do moves to each other. The boys would just walk around and, you'll fuck with each other. Leading. I mean, like after somebody's match, you tend to leave a guy alone because he might be aching a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
But leading up to a match, you will see guys walking around the back. They'll just grab a headlock on people. You'll just walk up to somebody, you'll throw a kick on them. People will throw a roundhouse. Again, it seems crazy, but yes, the boys are just walking around, doing moves to each other in the back for fun. They're just goofing off. All right, it's the boys goofing off. When you let somebody back there who isn't one of the boys, and not only not one of the boys, but doesn't respect the boys enough to play by the boys' rules in the boys' house, in the boys' church, and they're not going to abide by the boys' religion.
Yep.
That's a big fucking problem. I didn't mean to say that. How long are we into the podcast?
No, we
Get
can
your timestamp. I didn't mean to.
we can
But-
curse. Like I just because like I want to say this part, right? Because wrestling, you should have like your life is in the hands of all these other guys. That's why there's that respect there, and just fucking around is something you do. Like, and I'll say this like coming from an MMA gym, from a jiu-jitsu gym. Respect is also like that coming from an MMA gym. You go in there, you're not trying to hurt your training partners.
No, that's the trick, though. An MMA gym, you don't want to hurt your training partner. I understand all the aspects from the MMA part. Here, the biggest and the scariest part of this is that it's wrestling.
Yeah.
All right. In MMA, you can go into a gym and test somebody. You can go into it. There are gym wars. This is a thing.
Yeah, it happens.
When we're talking
Yeah,
about
I've been
pro
there.
wrestling, and you deliberately let someone into the back who doesn't have an interest in helping the show. They're there to help their friend who is trying to farm clout. You can watch AJ, whatever his name is. I got no time for that fucking cowboy right now.
Bro.
Got you.
I'm super over that dude. I watched his whole interview. I'm gonna quit saying I'm doing it because I'm frustrated. I really don't like that guy. I watched his whole interview to get the clips that I needed out. Did not like him, not one bit. What he said made it 1,000 times worse, and then he tried to cover it up somehow. To me, there's something immensely dark about. I mean, all right. Before I get to the dark part, I'll say it's super trash that he let somebody into the back who doesn't need to be there. Like, family and friends don't get to come in the back.
That curtain is a wall.
Right.
The access is limited.
Right.
for
Family
a
and friends
reason.
don't get to come in. My mom doesn't get to come into the back. Like, they're not coming in the back.
Yeah.
This is the boys' room. All right. So they brought this guy in specifically because they want to farm clout from him. They want to gain clout from his stream. They want blah, blah, blah. All right. So we want to get something out of it. So we let somebody in. Fine. What the hell ever. They do that. And now, as a direct repercussion, they're having to appease him. If you watch after the can spot, the dude's like, "Oh, you're not gonna sell it," because he thought that was weird because that's in the back. Boys goof off and play around like that. "Oh, you're not gonna sell it," is his reaction. Fine, whatever. Everybody else jumps up, and you even have, I think it's was that Black Pearl? I don't know who it was. He jumps up and he says, when Raja's like, "Oh, I'll beat his ass. I don't play that. I don't play that. I'll get him. Whatever." And the guy's like, yeah, I know you will. I know you will. The guy who stands up in front of him, he's like, "I know you will. Yeah, you will." Like, they're all just appeasing him because they want the clout on his stream. That's what I think.
The instigating is just so foul.
Well, instead of telling him, "Hey, man, you're in the back. He's just messing with you. All right, the boys will be boys," which is what they should say. Raja is in his area. He's not in Raja's area. Raja has come in to wrestling as a guest.
Yeah.
All right. But whatever. We get past that. And apparently they may have talked about, okay, we'll have him do something. Okay, fine. If you're talking about you want to have him do something. What they didn't do is tell him what he was going to do. Or even if they did, he decided he would do more. The fact that AJ Mana would even be like, "Oh, this guy's mad? I'm going to let you get your receipt." And when he told him to get his receipt, he said, "Listen, when you get your receipt, make sure you get it in." You know, he told him.
Oh my god. It's so
I made sure to get
man.
that part of it. That's the dark part to me.
It's
is that
gross.
he stops him in the hallway. If they have discussed before this point that they're going to do a spot, okay, okie doke. I've seen so much. Look, I think we're on like 50-something Wrestling Gets Reels at this point.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of these. All right, I've seen this happen a lot of times, a lot of different circumstances. I've talked to a lot of different people that this happened to, so I've got a bit of a view. When you see the dude stop him in the hallway, the lame ass cowboy guy, he stops him, and he's like, "Listen, get your licks in." Like that one part. That seals it in for me. I don't think let me make sure I don't think he said the words "get your licks in." He stops him and says, "Make sure you get your receipt." You know what I mean? You know what I mean? or something like that. Like he's making sure to tell him, get your shit in on it. Get him back. He told him that.
What's extra gross to me is we early in the video, whenever everybody jumps up and said, "Whoa, he's not a worker," right? Is why would you still use the word receipt to a guy that you've already established isn't a worker, isn't in on the joke?
That was the next thing I'm about to say. The fact that you're then going to turn around and give permissions in the back to somebody who does not know shit, who is not in the business, is not in the work. You're now going to give him permission to get liberties.
Ugh.
That is so fucked. And it's all for clout. It's all just so we can get some clout on a live stream. That's all this is for.
I want to make sure to iterate that like everything that we're talking about here is strictly based on decorum of the back, right? But we also need to acknowledge, like, hey, man, Raj is fucked up for all of this.
Yeah, he's like
he shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been in the back. The boy
he shouldn't have been in the back. The guy should have never given him the thing about the receipt. And everybody keeps bringing up his dad and like his live chat. I didn't even bring that up in my video. I mentioned it for like 10 seconds, and then I explained why I didn't care because he's fucking grown.
Yeah, you're.
I don't care what his live stream chat said to him. I don't care what his dad says. I don't care. He's
25 years old.
25.
People keep calling him a kid. He's 25 years old.
Yeah.
Right. We're not talking about Rampage's like 14-year-old who doesn't even have a driver's license yet.
Like,
well, I would like to just, kind of carry that point on is he's not a kid, right? But one thing that really stuck out to me, that maybe it shouldn't have, it might have been a flight thing afterwards, but he's stomping out of the building, he's walking down the street, he's pissed off, and he's saying, I'm sick of people treating me like a bitch. So he has some type of complex in which...
I do not doubt that. You don't do goofy shit like that if you don't have a complex. Who goes into a fucking wrestling show, jumps into the ring, and tries to do what he did.
Starts wailing on a guy
without a complex.
Exactly.
I'm saying that like we're like it's not that we're feeding into it, but the fact that he's stomping around.
I never self-diagnose people. I won't tell you what complex he's got, but I promise you he's got one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. What I'm saying is like
I don't know how many condos is in the complex, but he's got a complex.
People keep referring to him as a kid. The whole reason he's aggravated is he's tired of being treated like a kid.
Well, I can tell you why. They want to tell you that he's a kid so they can say the term Rampage's kid. And when you tag it as Rampage's kid, you get more hits.
Yeah,
that's why. You'll notice I never 100%. Mentioned Rampage in any of my shit because I know what this game is. He's a kid now, so I can get more clicks. That's the whole deal.
Yeah.
If I'm lying, I'm dying. Yeah, Hold on. Wrestlespective man. Tell me the truth. Am I lying or am I dying?
You're not lying. That's for sure. Like
there you go.
That's the only reason. Like because that headline, that's going to get clicks. That video title, that's going to get clicks. So
nobody
that's
knows who the fuck a Raja Jackson is. So Raja Jackson is now a kid. So we can say Quentin Rampage Jackson's kid.
Yeah.
That's why everybody ran with it the way they did. That's why I didn't put Rampage anywhere in my video, and I didn't like show his picture anywhere in my video. And the only time I mentioned him in the video was to say I don't give a shit what he said. We're talking about an adult.
Yeah,
who cares what his dad said?
I do want to say this about Gary and Grapplevision.
I'm a Vanderlei Silva fan anyway. Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
let's go.
We go for axe murderer over here. That's how we. And like I want to say this about Grapplevision and Gary, right? People put out videos day of without knowing that Stu was gonna survive, without knowing that Stu was out of any danger. People put out videos day of, night of, day after.
Sick.
And that's sickening to me. And like I want to say this person, like I talked to Gary about this because I as we were talking online, this whole thing was happening. And Gary could speak to it. I was like, oh, this is going to be a thing.
You sent me some of the materials for it.
Yeah, so it's just like
some of what was going on.
And like I respected you so much because I didn't watch shit from anybody else that posted it, and some people got like whatever, they used all the thumbnails, all that thing, putting it on their social medias and like making sure the algorithm hits it. But like Gary waited to make sure that the guy was living. Gary waited out of respect for the family, out of respect for Stu. In the situation, this is not something that you should fucking benefit from, that you should fucking get clout from. This is an assault, maybe an attempted murder, maybe whatever, but this is just sick, man. Like, and it's just something that I think in the online space, a lot of people like try to be as fast as they can with whether someone dies, put out the tribute video the day of, like an hour or a minute after like the announcement or anything like this. This like, wrestlers are wrestlers or whatever, and celebrities or whatever, but they're all, at the end of the day, we're all people, and there should be some kind of respect, some decorum about this kind of, and coverage on this kind of thing. And like the fact that Gary here waited and made sure that all this was, happened, and I just want to say, like, that's commendable from me. The parts that kind of like stood out to me is Doug Mallow, right? Doug Mallow, he was the muscular guy with the red braids. You saw the video. He's the only guy that jumps in. There's a guy before him that...
Yeah, there was one. All right, here's the thing. I want to know who that is.
The
there was a
guy,
person
right?
who jumped in beforehand, and they...
was pathetic.
Bless them. Look, bless them. You might say it's pathetic, but they jumped in, and they tried.
They tried.
They tried.
Yeah.
They gave it their all.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just saying because, like, I know people who don't.
He
train.
hindered some of the shots from being worse.
Yeah. He did.
I don't know who
something.
it is. They're not getting any praise really, but I do think they should get at least a little love.
Yeah.
I don't think they were in any shape to be take on Raja Jackson, but damn it, they tried.
They tried.
That was a brave little soldier right there.
My thing is. Oh, sorry. So go ahead, Drew.
This is not to say that Raja Jackson's the toughest guy in the world, right? But to get in the face and at least try and be willing to take shots to save a guy from an individual who spends his free time and pretty much is his job is streaming and training, learning how to dribble skulls and then trying to get in the front of somebody dribbling a skull.
The first one really did not look like anyone who has ever been in a shoot fight.
Yeah, I want to say...
I could be completely wrong. And if I am, I will be glad to correct myself. But they were brave enough to jump in there and try to stop him.
Yeah,
that's the main reason.
He's 25 and he's got an 0-1 pro record.
Yeah, 0-1 pro, 4-0 amateur.
Is a fighter. Look, we could talk about that one day. Raja is a dog shit fighter.
That's digressing from the overall point that we can't.
Right.
I want to say there was two guys.
We can't dismiss his actions.
Yeah, I can't dismiss it. There was two guys who jumped in, right? There was the Doug Mallow, who's the guy that pulled off Raja. The first guy, the
first guy who jumped in, I know it was not the best showing.
It was not the best.
I know why you said it was pathetic. I get why you would say that, but I do want to throw them at least something for jumping in there when literally no one fucking else was.
I want to say this.
This cat's doing something.
Because, like I was talking about realism earlier, right? As somebody who trained, right? And somebody who sees that, like, I instantly would think, why is the referee not involved? Why is that guy on the mat not involved? Okay, this guy from the back is at least somebody's coming. He tries. Obviously, he's not trained. And then when I see Doug
he should have came under the arm instead of going over it.
Yeah, he should have.
Like there are a bunch of little things that could tell you that it wasn't going to go well as soon as he started trying to help.
Yeah, when I see Doug come in and, like, obviously this is a guy who probably worked as a bouncer, or a guy who knows a little bit.
He does a lot of stuff. I think he does like predator catch, security too.
Oh.
Like, he does a bunch of stuff.
Okay,
good for him.
That's what's up. He looks like he would. He looks like he'd be an extra on some other.
He's pretty intimidating. He is not a short guy, and he is not a small guy.
Yeah,
I'd cross the street.
Yeah. Mallow is the type of guy who will, if he asks you to sit down, you probably should.
Yeah, you see those neck muscles, you are like, okay. I judge based on, like, how big the neck muscles are, and that's how hard that guy can punch you. I know that's a little bit of anime math for those who watch Hajime no Ippo, but
a little bit.
Yeah, I just was like, so Doug comes in there, he gets him in the front headlock, splits him up, and basically.
No, all right, he didn't get him in the front headlock at first. This is why Mallow deserves so much credit, man. He comes in tries to grab him just full on, like, arm across his chest, pull him off.
Yeah.
As he does that, Raja turns on him and tries to take, into him. And as he does, he locked like a cravat on his head. And I've never seen like a shoot cravat in one of these situations where people start going.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a shoot cravat. It's like he's got him in the Muay Thai clutch.
Yeah, he had him in the plum.
And then he kind of like turns and makes it like I don't know. I can't describe it right, but it was very cool. He out-grappled the hell out of Raja.
Yeah, it was really...
That was the best part to me. Was that like Mallow just completely manhandled this guy. He overwhelmed the MMA fighter. He took control of the situation. Dude deserves all the good things he's very likely going to get, because I'm seeing him everywhere now.
I'll probably think... I think Tony's probably gonna book him for something, but like when he got him in the plum, got him against the ropes, and then that's when everybody decided to jump in after Malo gets him. Like
once he it's amazing how many people all of a sudden were in there.
Yeah,
once he was got.
I gotta say that Dodgers guy, I think he chased him after the whole situation, and then the day after, when Stu is still in the hospital, he's out there. I sent you that video of him going out there trying to start something with Rampage and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's sick, man. Oh, I don't know if I sent you the video, but like this is the night after, right? They have like a little show. So the guy like in the Dodger outfit, why you gotta do my blue boys like that, man? He's out there in the Dodger outfit talking about, I am nobody, but if I whatever come back here, I would handle that situation. But I'm like, bro, like. You're
First of all, what is the promotion doing running another show so soon after? You already got controversy, right? What are you trying to milk this situation?
Yes.
What are you talking about? Come on, what do you mean trying to milk the situation? They'd be late to the party at this point. Man, might I direct your attention to the glorious Danger Pro Wrestling?
Oof.
Oh
my
Who
God.
are you people? Where are you coming from? Do you know about Danger Pro Wrestling?
Yeah,
Have you heard about this?
It was
I'm
on
not
Instagram.
familiar. No.
Okay, I posted it in the little group chat here. You're gonna love this.
Okay,
this is the best thing. It's magical.
Oh my God.
The indies are a complete hellscape. You thought Ian Rotten was bad? No. What are you talking about?
Revokes ID status for Danger Pro.
Give an IWA Mid-South a good name.
Oh man, imagine that.
Jesus.
They're out here getting Ian Rotten ready for a comeback is what they're doing.
Jesus.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Hey, Wrestlespective, do you have that Danger Pro ready for your defunct series?
I can't wait. That's going to be...
Knox Pro and Danger Pro coming up. Season...
Half the video will just be that they booked this asshole after that incident. Like,
yo, that's crazy, man. That's so crazy.
What is this weird foot shooting extravaganza going on the indies right now? What is
they've got nothing else?
The guy last week is like, we're gonna bring in Joey Ryan for the special resurrection of Joey Ryan's show, and everybody's like, no, you're not, and he's like, okay, no, I'm not. And then this week we've got this happening with Raja, and then now Danger Pro Wrestling's like, we're booking Raja. We're bringing in Raja Jackson, guys. It's going to be cool. And then WWE's like, no, it's not cool. We're actually not going to work with you anymore.
Yeah.
And we think that you smell like soup. Don't talk to us.
Why is Raja Jackson now the most well-known person in wrestling outside of the major companies?
I'm telling you, he is about to be like this weird, like,
can't wait for his XPW
type figure.
Oh,
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the plan is. This is insane.
This is a storyline built for XPW.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, XPW is out here in LA. You know, they love to book canceled wrestlers.
Now that they're formally,
he's not even a wrestler.
He's not even a wrestler.
This is just a wanted guy.
He's just a
wanted man, and not like Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth or whatever his name is. I'm not interested in that wanted man or this one. How did this happen? How did the wanted man get booked?
this is where we're at with internet, with the internet, with live streaming, with indie pro wrestling trying to get into the live streaming and trying to get any kind of clout. This is
Coming soon to Danger Pro Wrestling.
My God.
Johnny Somali. What are they doing?
Oh, I can see Johnny
what are they
Somali.
doing?
Johnny Somali cornering Raja.
I heard he got sent to jail for like 10 years.
Oh yeah, he's stuck. He's stuck in Korea for.
Okay, yeah. But we're at that level. What are we doing? Why are we booking him? For what reason?
Because it gets hits on Google.
So we're
Impressions.
going to get a bunch of hits on Google, but after that appearance, nobody will ever mention that wrestling show as anything other than the dog shit place that hired Raja Jackson.
Yeah, and like
Hypothetically, right?
This short-term clout gain, it's like watching crackheads. They are fiending, and they are just getting completely doped up on this clout thing to such an extent that they riddle themselves with the funk and completely dehydrate right before our very eyes. This is bad.
Let's just do some quick math, right? Is how big of a show, how big of a venue would they hypothetically run? How many tickets would they sell after the payout to the boys, right? Is how much actual profit, if you were to estimate, is this actually worth? If they sell, I don't know, a building, 250 people, right? Maybe on the high scale, just for the novelty, the cheap payday.
Say they sell
right?
it out. Say they sell it out. Tell me what they're going to sell at the next show.
Not a thing, right? So this one-off payday in which some promoter might make, I don't know, $3,000. Is $3,000 worth the entire integrity of your name and business?
Best case scenario, you might get a couple grand after paying everything off. Yeah.
What?
what's his rate?
It's nothing. It's like
What's Raja's rate gonna
nothing.
be?
Oh, he shouldn't even have. We shouldn't even be proposing what it could be because nobody should even be alleging that he should be allowed in another backstage anywhere. Yeah, let's see if this doesn't go poorly a second time. Like we're giving pause and we're giving credence to this kind of just because nobody has any kind of creative outlet or value. Right? They think like, okay, I want to be in wrestling business because I like WWE, but I am devoid of actual creativity. So how can I, kind of bypass the entire system and get clout without actually, binding individuals on the indies, booking their dates, booking their flights, booking their hotels, stays, whatever it is, right? Them a ride somewhere, booking the venue, paying out the costs, renting the ring. How do I not build guys up and tell the stories or do the thing and have the good matches, right? How do I just bypass all of the hard work? What's the cheapest way to do it? And it's this scummy appearance. Right, and if one person does it, somebody else is going to, and all of a sudden now Raja has a damn indie career.
I don't think he'll have an indie career. I think he'll have this weird little run for the next few months of maybe this promotion and a few other low-level promotions bringing him in for appearances or some shit like that to get a bump on his live stream while he will be relevant for a short time. I don't know.
I suppose that I should say that I misspoke whenever I said careers. Yeah, he's going to get a run out of this. And it's truly unfortunate because nobody is operating with any integrity. And while it's the wrestling business, and I guess I shouldn't be on my high horse about the wrestling business to begin with because God knows there's been plenty of scummy things that happen.
Yeah.
We have a laundry list of stories. It's not just WWE. We have how many accounts of things throughout the years of guys trying to use controversy. Like this isn't new necessarily, but I think that the dynamic that is new is a technological thing. Is before it was just it was just one of those legends, right? Of Haku beating people up in bars or some of the things that we used to hear about guys being booked back in the territory days, because they had a little controversy to them and it gave them a level of mystery, right? But we didn't have video evidence of a dude who swallowed his own teeth. And we
Yeah.
need to have that in our conscience, in our forefront whenever we discuss these things is, yeah, the game's changed. You can't do this anymore.
It would be nice.
We have video evidence. It's not lore. It's
Hey,
weird and it's
yeah,
bad.
yeah, there was that one girl that was in Stardom who beat the crap out of that Ak Hasagawa girl. And you guys seen that video, right? Where she completely destroys her face and her face gets swollen up. Well, like a couple of years back, that girl who assaulted Act retired, but that girl who assaulted her came back to Stardom and is still having a run there right now. So like, but that's not somebody
She's
from
still
outside
having a
the
run now.
that's not somebody from outside the business. That's somebody that was still in the business and beat somebody up because, stuff happens. And like, I don't really think there's a difference in between an assault like that and this assault that happened in terms of there's an assault, somebody was victimized and that's what happened. But like, when I look at this and I see Stu's face when he turns around and he's just like, when he goes up for the double, like he goes up for the slam, he goes up for it. It's not like he's fighting the double into the lift up for the double legs. I'm not going to use that word because I don't want to say it as it's cool. But like, he lifts them.
In wrestling,
still
it
gets
ends up
himself.
being most people would look at it as a spine buster, like one of those big rhino spine busters he used
Yeah.
to do. But
Yeah.
for the most part,
'Cause-
this was like a big ass slam.
Yeah.
Like he bounced.
Because you guys
Right.
know the term I was going to use, and I don't want to say that because that's putting people over that I don't want to put over.
I mean, there's the wheelbarrow slam. There's a few things, right?
Yeah.
There's a few moves that we could reference that are close to this, but it's not wrestling. This isn't professional wrestling.
Yeah, this is not. It's disgusting. Like if I saw this happen, that slam was enough. Like Stu goes stiff from that slam, and as somebody like because where I worked at before, Drew knows where I worked at. I'm not gonna reveal where I was at, but you'd see fights happen, and then people land on the back of their skull, and then they go stiff, and then sometimes that person doesn't come back
Immediately.
Yeah, he could have died at that moment. He could have been a stiff dead body at that moment after that first impact, and then the continuing of the barrage of punches, and then swallowing his teeth. Apparently, like he doesn't have teeth left. It's disheartening, and like it sucks. And then one of the things that happened afterwards was like we got takes from a lot of people, right? Takes from everybody. What Drew had sent to me like earlier this week was Kale Sonen's take on this whole thing. I'm not sure if you saw that, Gary, but Drew can speak on that.
Yeah, Chael is, for a lack of a better word, initiated, right? He has trained. He's in on the business. He
was in the
talks
WCW
to
power
wrestlers.
He trained
was
at
in
the
the power.
WCW power plant for a little time.
He did indeed, right? Chael's the perfect guy to speak on this, and he caught a lot of flack for trying his humanly best to be objective. But a lot of the points that we've made, he's iterated, and I express to people to at least, if they have interest in it, trying to be objective about the whole tragedy, because that's what it is, a tragedy.
I agree with you that Chael was trying to be objective. I don't mean, again, it's not maybe.
Okay.
It's just because I know that he's Rampage's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I agree that does he do the best job of it? No, he does have an emotional investment. He knows the kid, but he also prefaces with that. He's giving his bias up front, but he's still like, hey, this isn't cool.
people are. I did see people were giving him hell. Rob Van Dam's getting hell. I didn't like the Rob Van Dam thing.
I'm not familiar.
I was trying to ask, what was the thing with Rob Van Dam? And He put out a
Yeah, I
tweet.
saw like his
and said,
tease on Twitter, but I didn't see like what his actual take was.
Okay, you saw the tease on Twitter. Well, that's the thing I really have a problem with. I don't give a shit what his take is. That is gross.
He was using it for hits.
Yeah, that's bad enough.
Oh my god.
Yeah, don't do that. Why are you doing that? No, that's bad.
Scott,
and I
if
like
you could
Rob
just
a lot. He's a very cool guy. That was really not cool.
No.
If you could kind of describe it, I'm not familiar.
I can't.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was like he wasn't
got it.
entirely wrong or something like that. Like he was saying that
What?
he was saying that Raja wasn't completely wrong or something like that. And it was just like, okay. And then of course he used that. He was like,
I think it was
Raja's not
so far I've got Raja's back. Tune into the podcast.
That
was the only one I saw. Oh, he put one
so far
before
I've got
that.
his back. Yeah, no, that was the one. I just couldn't remember the verbiage. But yeah, no, that was the one.
I saw it was a
So far
tiny
I've got
tweet.
Raja's back. Yeah.
It was something small. And I was just like, why are you? Don't do that, Rob. That's
What?
Yes.
He's like, so far, I've got Raja's back. Tune
Oh
into
my
the
God.
podcast. Shut up, Rob. What? Come on.
Oh,
That's
Rob Van Dam is one of a kind.
It's
Literally.
fine if you've got Raja's back. If you want to have that take, I disagree. It's fine.
Mhm.
Don't
Heavily.
rage bait and then try to tip people into the show.
All right, Gary, if I could pose a question to you, right? If after this entire incident, would you have pinned Psycho?
oh my god.
No, I saw that. I mentioned that in the video. That was something.
I did, and I just wanted. I watched your video, and if you could just elaborate on just like protocol about whether or not that
I don't think a pin was necessary. I don't think we needed it.
That guy had to come in and save his heat and get the win.
I don't want to be too mad at him because I can't tell if they're like a new guy or look, when you have something like this where it's an academy show, you have people who are told, you keep going. So maybe they think you keep going even at this point. I don't know. I don't want to judge them too hard. They've got like a wrestling school tie-in academy thing. It could be a new person, but the one
it may be somebody that didn't have that kind of confidence to make that kind of a judgment call and were just following their instructions.
Right. All right. So if it was somebody higher up, I would be more ill at them or whatever. But it was just wild to me to see. That's why I mentioned it in the video. It was just when the person did them. I couldn't not mention it, but I'm not mad at them. I can see how you don't know what to do. That's what a lot of people don't get about wrestling. It being what it is makes it very difficult to know what to do and when.
Yeah.
It's like, do we keep going now? Do we stop now? Are we out of character now? Are we in character? Like there's a lot of dynamics where you don't know what you do. Like, should I help him? I was fighting him a second ago. Do I break the kayfabe? Am I going to get yelled at if I do that? I don't know what to do. So for somebody who's newer or whatever, I can give them that. I give them that, leeway. Some of the cats who were there for a bit longer, they get less leeway.
Yeah.
Not everybody there can be the new guy. Somebody there has been there for longer. And I know Mallow's only been there for like a year, apparently. So this is what I'm saying. Like, everybody there can't be the new guy.
Yeah.
Correct.
So Drew, you've interacted with people from that school, because I think the school you went to is kind of tangentially related to Rikishi and all that stuff. Drew, Doug did point out on the podcast he did that this isn't representative of Rikishi as a trainer or anything like that. Could you speak to that side of thing of I'm not trying to absolve anybody, but just you kind of everybody.
I'm not even big on Rikishi, really. There are a lot of things he says I disagree with, but this is not on him.
Yeah.
Well, as far as I'm aware, my school has a lot of agreements with future stars of wrestling. We're not aligned with Knox in any way, not that I'm familiar with, or at least whenever I was there, all of our guys. And I understand that at one point, Rikishi was the head trainer of Future Stars of Wrestling, but I don't have anything personal to really say from the perspective of Rikishi and how he runs stuff. Because by the time that I was doing extra stuff or whatever it is, or being around future stars, just as background, like a curtain jerking, literally. That it's anecdotal at best because he was already gone.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I just like think about this, and then because like what Gary does on his channel, the Grapplevision, is when works turn into shoots, and I think about like things that happened in the past, whether that be where we have like CM Punk and Jungle Boy have that little tussle, or we think about, like I was talking about in Stardom with Act and that person that she got assaulted by, or like whenever we see, and like when I think about every time, because I'm gonna bring this back to WCW. What were some of my favorite things about WCW when the NWO was going hot? Was like when the random fans would come in and get their shit pushed in. That always delighted me. I'm not sure why, but just like seeing someone have the gall to cross that barrier, get in the ring and try something, and this is exactly why those people got beat up. Is what if something like this would have happened? And it's just like, it's amazing to me that this happened under the watch of a company being egged on by other professional wrestlers, and then those same professional wrestlers are trying to absolve themselves of any kind of guilt in this. And I'm just like, man, I used to, like when I was a kid, want to be a wrestler, and then I started actually talking to wrestlers, and they started telling me stories about how things go, and like double crosses and other stuff like that. And I'm just like, maybe this isn't for me. And I bet you, Gary, could speak more to this because you were in wrestling. I guess now you're not wrestling anymore. And like when you see stuff like this, how does it make you feel about the art, the profession?
Well, stuff like this has happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And it will happen again. Especially, when the incentive isn't even money here. Like, the incentive was nothing but clout.
Oh,
that's a low bar. That should let you know that it will definitely happen again.
Yeah.
What you were saying a minute ago about the fans jumping in. Yes,
yeah.
This is a great example of why whenever you see a fan jump in and you're like, man, why are they going so hard on him? Because he could come in and go hard on you. He could come in and have a knife. He could come in and he could take you out in 2 seconds. So, however you got to get him on the ground and completely neutralize him, that's what you do.
Yeah.
That is the answer. When they cross the barrier, you treat it like trespassing, like somebody just broke into your house. Because you hesitating, it could cost you your consciousness, several teeth, or in worse scenarios, it could be your life.
Oh, yeah. I do want to ask you this.
Somebody could stab you in your leg. You could lose your leg. All kinds of things can happen.
Yeah, I mean, Gary, I don't know if you've covered this yet. I've got it on my list, and I haven't seen it on pop up on your channel yet. Just might have missed it. But in the 70s, Blackjack Mulligan was stabbed in the Boston Garden on his way to the ring. So it's like, this is exactly why. Like, it's happened before. It's always been a part of it.
In the Fabled Wrestling Gets Real 1, I had a lot of stuff that got taken out, and I've always wondered what it was that got everything taken down. One of the runners I have in my head was the... like, I tried to talk about Blackjack Mulligan getting stabbed, but, I mean, I don't think the footage is that good. I don't think anybody's got anything, great on you. What I used, you could barely see anything, and honestly, I don't even know if it was the right one.
Right.
It could be anything happening there. It's like 4 fucking ants.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the way that we learn to run the ropes in school, right? Is you bounce off them in a certain way and you stick your heels out because somebody might be able to slice them.
Oh,
Well, the lean thing, but I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, they could slice your kidney too. Like
That's
there's little elements of that are probably a little more stretched out to scare the new guys.
oh.
One of the first shows I ever went to, the bad guys got stabbed
Whoa.
in the 2000s.
In
Wow.
the 2000s. When
In the 2000s,
oh my god.
Okay. Tell that story.
I was on an indie show. I was hanging out with, God, what do they call him? You guys remember like WLC or the Little Man Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wee Man.
Okay. All right.
Torito,
So
Puppet.
me and Little Kane.
Oh, Little King.
Was it Little Kane or what was his name? Wee Kane. What do they call him? Do you guys know?
The
I
Little Red
want to say it
Machine.
was Weekend.
The
Little Red Machine.
Little Red Machine. Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds about right. Okay. So, me and him are talking in the back. This is a show, I think, in Alabama. Maybe Georgia. But I'm talking to Little Kane. I'm in the back. We're just hanging out. My match has not happened yet, so I still have to walk out there. And all of a sudden, I just hear people screaming. And Little Kane's like, what? Ooh, ooh. And like, I just watch Little Kane jump up and start like running because watching Little Kane run is pretty funny. And I follow him, and yeah, they fucking stabbed a bad guy. He was in like a mafia tag team. I want to say this is,
oh my god.
what is his name? Mickey Henry ran the show. He's like an old WCW guy. It was like a carnival show, I think. Like it was at a carnival. I can't remember. But I was talking to Little Kane. The scream happens. I follow Little Kane after he runs off. And there's this mafia guy who's been stabbed. And I'm like, oh. And I hadn't even been wrestling like a full year, I think, at that point. So in my head, I'm like, oh, wow. I thought they stopped doing this. And so I just expected to see this all the time.
Yo.
I did not see it again, but I did see it within my first year. I was just like, oh, I guess it's still like this.
That's what they call the white heat. Oh man, I listen to stories about that stuff. Like, this is why guys wore those robes because they feel things, or people in Puerto Rico throwing like the batteries into the ring and throwing rocks at wrestlers.
Batteries, lighter pennies.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things.
Cups full of piss. I remember I watched the AWA DVD because, old timers kind of like, they always like embellish, right? But there was that story in like the newspaper where Bobby Heenan and Nick Bockwinkel were shot at in Chicago for like a main event. And I'm just like, holy shit, what is this? And like, people believe in this stuff, and people are deranged. So I understand like how wrestlers can be so protective. Like, one of my favorite moments.
Was it more fun then, or is it more fun now? Is a great question.
Yes, that's a great question.
Like, people keep saying, "Oh, it's bad now because everybody knows it's fake." It's like, yeah, well, it's easy to say that when you're not getting stabbed at.
Yeah, man. I always had this question. I don't know if you Gary or you Scott would know. You know that Halloween Havoc, when that one fan, alleged fan, climbs the cage, and then Macho Man and Hulk Hogan spend like 10 minutes beating the crap out of him.
Oh yeah.
Was that a shoot, or was that a work?
I think that was real.
That seemed pretty shooty.
Yeah.
Okay, because
They stopped being mad at each other and began to be mad at him. That was my first.
I remember the match was between
kayfabe.
Savage and Hogan. So like, yeah.
I just
Macho Man breaking kayfabe is a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, Macho Man breaking kayfabe against Hogan, the dude that he notoriously hated more than anybody else in the world, right?
He'd rather be hitting him than anyone, but he'll stop real quick to handle it.
Yeah, because I think at that point Macho had just joined the NWO, but they were squawking at each other.
Nah,
because that's Age in the Cage. That's Piper
It's hard
versus
to
Hogan.
tell.
But they're like,
Okay, no, if it's Piper and Hogan, okay, then Piper or Macho Man jumps in on it. That's what I was wondering.
Right?
All
No,
so
yeah.
because they're
did he
squawking at
jump
each
in
other.
to help Hogan?
Yeah, they're beating up Roddy Piper, and then they just leave Piper alone and beat the shit out of the fan. And I'm like,
that's how Macho broke kayfabe. He quit fighting with Piper and just turned around and starts beating up the fan.
that's probably one
That's
of
what
my.
I was wondering when you said he quit beating up Hogan. I'm like, wait a second, was it a Hogan match?
No. Like he like they stopped jawing at each other while beating up Piper because whatever, they're beating up Piper, and then the fan goes down the cage. Pee Wee Anderson like tries to run in there, and then like
Pee Wee Anderson was the real champ against the fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
That boy was undefeated.
Yeah. Pee Wee goes in there, like just blocks him off, and then like Hogan and Savage is like, "Fuck this," and then they just start wailing on him. Probably one of my favorite
Pee Wee
moments.
was the Goldberg of the streets.
Yeah, man. A lot of it.
That little puffy mullet he had.
Oh man, like I love WCW brothers. That's like one of my that's my stuff, and like this kind of stuff we talk about, and then just like reflecting and just trying to like feel like as people. When I watch pro wrestling, I don't really watch it for people to get hurt. If people get hurt, it's just the name of the game, but they're not purposely trying to hurt each other for the most part.
I think if you wanted to just watch people get hurt, you could turn on the news, brother. It's not. Watching people get hurt ain't hard to find.
Matt McCarthy has a great joke in his stand-up where he says, "I'm a wrestling fan, so people automatically assume I also like MMA. No, I don't like people to actually hurt each other. What am I, an asshole?"
Kind of. That's kind of the mindset, I think, in a lot of wrestling fans, where it's like, they're not supposed to really get hurt. But here's the trick. I think there is a flip side to that. I don't know. Russell, you've made a lot of videos, and I've never pitched this to anybody who I think is probably of your mindset. And from what you just said, I think you might be the perfect person to kind of pitch this to. Do you kind of align yourself with the mindset of that comedian? I'm not sure what his name was, but I have seen that bit. That is a good bit. Yeah,
I would say we're pretty similar. Yeah.
Good deal. Okay. So when you watch wrestling, like who were some of the guys? Did you enjoy the Attitude Era by chance?
At the time, yes, but I was also 12. So I think.
No, yeah, fair play. Were there anybody who you carried through and kept liking? Jeff Hardy, for instance.
Jeff definitely was one of my favorites at the time, but is definitely not come along with me. Like now, I'm much more a fan of Bryan Danielson. That is my guy, and has been since 2004 when I first saw him. So yeah, I mean that's more so I would say somebody like Jeff Hardy has not really come along with me. No.
No. I can dig it. I think that you might know where I'm going with this one, but just please allow me this volley, kind sir. All right, so Jeff didn't come along with you. When did Jeff stop coming along with you?
Ooh, probably 2002. I want to say probably right towards the end of the peak of the Attitude Era. I'd want to say maybe the roster split
starts to kind of have some issues.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. So, again, this is one of the things I've always found to be a very interesting thing about wrestling. And when I say interesting, I genuinely mean interesting. I do not mean it I'm saying interesting as a replacement for a word like I find it hypocritical and dog shit. That's not what I do find it interesting. So what I'll put forth here, when you were talking earlier, you didn't like to watch people get hurt. Nobody likes to watch people get hurt on the surface. They always say it. And this is why I'm going to put it out there. You're not very big on death matches, are you?
I need to be in the right mood. Like if I am like, oh, I could go for some hyper violence, for my wrestling. I'll throw on a deathmatch show, but it's certainly not my.
You're only stopping by once a year, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You hear something might happen once a year. Okay, yeah, we'll watch some shit blow up once a year. All right, we'll do
exactly.
It.
Yep.
Okay. So this is always something that gets into my head, and it makes me think all the time. Because wrestling fans very much do have that mindset, like you said. They do not want to see someone get hurt. And they don't want to see someone continue to hurt themselves. However, what I also notice is that if I asked, like, what was your favorite, some of your favorite stuff? Like, if I asked you about, like, have you ever seen, like, some of the old Kevin Steen and El Generico matches in Ring of Honor?
I was there live, so yes, I was.
You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yeah. I loved it, yeah.
That was great shit.
It was.
Okay, but if either of these guys happen to end up with a pain pill addiction in the next 10 years, would you be surprised?
No.
Not even a little, right?
No, I wouldn't.
A little.
And when they get to that point, again, when I say when they get to that point, hypothetically, we're not saying they will. All willing, I hope neither of them do, okay?
Inshallah.
But let's say they do, based on what we saw them do. Now people would want to tell them it's time to stop. Now they're going to tell, we don't want to look at you anymore.
Right.
There is something in the, it's built into wrestling, right? It's this image industry. It's all about selling an illusion. It all has to look just right. And that's got a lot of different sides to it. So whenever Jeff Hardy is having trouble walking as fast and he looks a little bit slower, people are going to talk a lot of shit about it and all this. But nobody was saying, hey, Jeff, get down off of that ladder, bud. You might hurt yourself. Nobody said that.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody cheered him all the way up that ladder. They cheered him when he jumped off. They cheered him when he jumped off the Titantrons. They cheered him every time. Shattered his pelvis, busted his back up. They cheered it all. But now they want to tell him to go away because now they're uncomfortable looking at it. Versus, if you look over at deathmatch fans, what ends up happening in death matches, yes, it is very visceral. When you see the damage being taken, and you have to register it right at that moment and be okay with what you're looking at. But for the most part, it's all skin deep, and it will all be gone in 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Versus you watch a regular match on Monday Night Raw, 2 DDTs are thrown. That guy's probably concussed a little bit. Like, he's just racking up little bitty bits of damage to his brain. Versus somebody getting, a fucking one of those aluminum pans to the head or whatever. Nobody cares about that. That doesn't hurt. That's not. But it's all visual. The death match is all right in your face. You have to watch it, accept it, take it for what it is, right when it happens, and that's how it is. That's how the death match thing works.
Yeah.
There's this extra layer on the greater world of pro wrestling where we also need for people to go away to make sure that it keeps looking good. And like the worst example I can think of on this, when conventions would stop booking Bobby Heenan because they didn't like how he looked anymore.
Right.
He didn't have his lower jaw.
When you begin to make the business look like it's not great to be in the business, well, we need you to go away. And that's the harshest part of it. I don't think most people would be for that. If you ask most people on paper, are you okay with that? They will say no.
Right.
But knowing the industry, you know how that decision came into being made. That's kind of that's the overwhelming thing that I think is a bigger problem, is that everybody wants to cheer everyone into the oblivion of their career, only to then tell them that they now need to retire.
Yeah.
And then you also have a lot of people looking down on death matches because it's like, oh, look at all they're tearing their body, they're mutilating their body. I'm sorry, if I take a dragon suplex off the top rope and you don't call that mutilating my body, I don't know what to tell you. I would rather land on 1,000 thumbtacks than take a dragon suplex from the top rope. but I've seen 3 or 4 people do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you think about like Terry Funk, right? He elongated the last 30 years of his career by doing deathmatch, and
Yeah, it's all song and dance. It's
Yeah.
very surface level injury.
it's a lot of there's
That's
a
why
lot of
Onita
walking.
could do it. That's why they all did it.
I'm gonna say this because, like, just to keep it a little bit more current, like when you see Mox, right? He rarely takes any of those like big head drops, big bump suplex. He does some bumps, but like most of his work is like a walk and brawl, and like he's doing less, but also doing more by doing that. And like I appreciate that. I appreciate deathmatch because I am
I think Moxley stuff, it does have some deathmatch in it, but I would think it is a lot more if you watch like Memphis stuff.
Yeah.
He's taking a lot of the Memphis stuff now.
Yeah, it's
Because
a lot.
those guys' careers lasted a long time.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler is still working after having a heart attack. Like you just get like some flash paper, throw a couple punches, walk around, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
That's the thing. It's knowing how to work with what you have. Don't overdo it. Don't try to be what you're not anymore, and you can do just fine. That's how a lot of the old timers were able to stick around as long as they did.
Because I look at.
I don't know how a lot of the guys now will be able to. I couldn't imagine. Can you imagine like old timer Will Ospreay trying to do the? God, what is the move?
The Sky Twister press, or
Oh God, that would be amazing. But like pick him up for the butterfly roll around thing. He does. What is that called?
Stormhammer.
Stormhammer. Yeah. Could you imagine? Yeah. Old man Ospreay trying to do a Stormhammer. How bad that's gonna look. That thing is going to be going at breakneck speeds of about 3 miles an hour as they slowly turn down to the ground.
Yeah.
Probably break an arm doing it.
I don't know if we're going to see like 50-year-old Darby, but I could see 50-year-old Darby doing like a 50-foot coffin drop one day through glass. And like, I appreciate that style because, one of my favorite guys is Jun Kasai, Crazy Monkey. He's all scarred up, all like that.
Yep.
But if you watch his matches, he's so athletic.
They're pretty much as good as they were 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's so good because like he's not doing the bump and feed. Okay,
all of his damage is skin deep.
Yeah,
I think the worst bump he ever took was that shit from Zandig.
Oh, when they threw him onto the
where
ring
they
truck.
completely missed the table by a mile. Where like he lands on his ass and just gets up and runs. That's why I believe he was in pain. When somebody just like they land full stop on their ass on concrete and just stand up and begin to run, that guy's in pain.
Yeah.
He's in pain. He's trying to run from the pain.
Oh man, there was this other bump he took before. Like I think it was in that match with like Zandig, Nick Gage. I think it was. I forgot. I don't know if it was Ito or Masato, but like he took a front bump, front chest bump into like fire, and then he just.
How about it?
I was just like, oh man, I love this stuff. I love that guy. That guy rules.
He's a nut.
Yeah,
he's a nut.
But he still can move. He still moves. He just had like one of the.
He had a big match with El Desperado for the New Japan Junior title this year, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was doing some lucha things in that match. It's pretty good. I recommend it.
It can work.
And like when it comes to like that deathmatch style, and people kind of have like the disrespect, like what they would. Because my favorite guy, Drew knows, like one of my other favorite guys besides Sting was Cactus Jack, bringing it back to WCW. And like you guys saw the bumps that Cactus would take for no reason, taking a drop kick from Mil Mascaras, and he lands back of the head first onto the concrete. Because back then, ladies and gentlemen,
plunge.
Yeah, back then, ladies and gentlemen, they didn't have mats on the floor. But even if there was a mat, you could still crack your head like an egg taking that bump. And like Mick
those
Foley,
mats are like the mats that you would sleep on in kindergarten. It's the shitty flippy mats, right?
Yeah.
Nobody has ever landed outside the ring and been like, "Oh, thank God this mat's here." Like it's never like, "Oh man, this feels way better." No.
I think it was New York State mandate mandated mats, and at one point Ring of Honor was running New York and not using mats, and then they were like, no, you have to use mats. So they put out like, those little crappy like, school nap mats, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure guys taking Hurricanranas off the top rope onto the floor are loving it. I'm sure that's such an improvement.
That's so safe.
This is saving us.
That's
Thank God for these.
And I bring up Mick Foley because like people always use him as like, that's why death matches are wrong. They use like the Hell in a Cell bumps, but like it wasn't the Hell.
I don't really see Mick Foley like he took crazy bumps.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Hell in a Cell bump that fucked him up. It was years and years of going on the road for what did the old timers say, 300, 400 days a year. Hulk Hogan said 500 days a year, and just like the consistent like damage you would take, like and it's not like how big the bumps are, it's the amount of bumps you're taking throughout your career. Because like we seen guys like, I don't know, like we see Adam Cole kind of sort of retire this year for a little bit. Bryan and Shibata had retired because of the brain injuries, and it's just like what you're saying, the totality of like, what does this wrestling business do to you? We think about like, oh, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and sure, they're gonna have a match now and not be hurt, but then like 5 years from now, they can't get off the bed because all of a sudden their arms start shaking and they're having neurological damage, and that's just what pro wrestling is about, like accumulating all that damage, and that's a part of it. And like, I'm not saying like, like people say, oh, you watch it so you encourage this damage and people being treated like just livestock.
No, I don't want to put it on people like that either. It's just whenever people are talking about they're mutilating their bodies, it's like, I'll be honest. I'd rather be thrown into the barbed wire ropes and in 2 days have a couple scratches and that's it, than take I don't know, fucking
a
somersault. Yeah, somersault powerbomb off the top rope. My head bounces, and I've got a headache for like 2 weeks because my dumb ass is now concussed, but I don't know it because I'm on the indie circuit.
He didn't drop you in the middle. He dropped you on the side.
The hardest part of the ring.
No, I mean,
there's so many things
on the inside, right?
Gosh,
I'll point this out. I am not huge on death matches. I really enjoyed FMW. I think the way they did death matches was good. I think a lot of times now death matches are just overkill. Even a lot of Junkasai stuff is pretty overkill. But it is. It can be whatever. It can be fine. It can be fun. But when I look at it, I never look at them and I'm like, oh man, I can't believe these guys mutilate their bodies, because I watched Misawa die in the ring because he took a bunch of backdrops. Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever looked at a backdrop and said, oh, you're mutilating your body. Well, they killed a guy. Yeah. I don't think anybody's died from hitting the barbed wire ropes yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
When you look at like how Perito died, Perito just took a simple front bump for the 619 and that decapitated him. Like, or you think about like Silver King having a heart attack in the middle of the ring, and like people just not knowing how to react. And like I was thinking about that earlier because I think that in that Silver King match somebody did pin him, even though he was having a heart attack. But like, but it's just like,
I don't think he knew he was dead.
Yeah, I don't think he knew, because I don't think Rey Mysterio and TJP knew that Perito was gone. Like,
right. Like people want to talk a lot of shit about Juventud Guerrero. I get it. He's wild. I don't think Juventud Guerrero was like, I've got to get my win over him, even if he's dead. Like, no. Fucking, I get it.
A little strong here.
Right? Like, Hubi is a bit much sometimes. I get it. And he wants to go over. I get it. I know. I've heard the stories. I don't think he was like, oh, he's dead. Let me get my win. Bro, that's tough. That's a dark lot to put on Hoovy.
That's dark. I was just saying, like, in these situations, you don't know really what's going on. You don't know like what's happening, like, until you learn like later on, and then like you find out, oh, we can. In hindsight, we should have done this, and like if I bring it back to like Psycho Stu and Raja, like in that instant after you hear that big smack on this first slam, and then you see like the follow up punches. I can understand people who don't see this on a daily basis.
Within 2 punches, I would have known they were real rounds.
Yeah. The
shock. He didn't have a hand on him to like. All right, so we're gonna let's expose the business guy. Pro wrestling secrets revealed here. People tend to put a hand there when they're gonna do the work punches. Either behind the head so they can kind of hold your head stable while they hit it, or they put it on your head so they can hit the hand instead of hitting your head. Mm-hmm. So whenever somebody's sitting there and just firing off hooks, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, no base of your head, they're hitting all over your head. There's no target. There's no anything to it. You can tell, oh, those are real.
So I could understand.
Most people could tell they're real. Maybe the ref is.
Yeah, I felt.
Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, I felt like it was real, like right from the slam, and then right when he's throwing punches, because he's throwing punches was the intent.
The slam gave it away. The way his head bounced, I knew he was screwed.
And he was launching like elbows, and it's just like.
Hold on, for the slam, we also have the benefit of the angle. I don't think in the ring you could see his head bounce like that.
Yeah.
I think like if you're standing in the ring and you just look, you're just going to see him get slammed.
I just like want to. Yeah, but like the
punches you can see.
The punches you could see, and then like I'm just like, I understand people like normie people don't see like fights or punches like real punches like up close like that in real life, and like I'm not saying like all wrestlers cross train with MMA. I mean some do. Shout out to you, Scorpio. I made Scorpio Sky Tap, and it was and like it's just kidding, man. And like I just want to say like instantly when something's going on. And so, like, I can see, like, from the normal people just standing there in shock and just, like, not knowing what to do. I can see that. That's human also. That's human
at first. Yeah, but he got off, like, 20 shots.
Yeah, then that's crazy.
So, it's like, you got, like, 4 or 5 shots before somebody should be doing something.
Yeah, that first slam, I should
like
be
20. Well, I think, all right, the guy in the face paint did try to do something after, like, 5 or 6. And he got tossed off. Like, he couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Whoever that is, shout out to you. You did try.
You tried. You weren't trained for this, but you did something.
Right. Exactly. Nobody should be like throwing fault on that person. They jumped in. They tried to do something. They could not do something, but they did try. That's a lot more than I'm getting from anybody else around there.
Yeah, and
nobody should have given him permission to be in the ring.
Yeah, and I
think if we're talking about like actual looking back in hindsight, where did everything go wrong? That part where AJ walks up and says, "Hey guys, I have my friend with a live stream. Can we let him in the back?" The answer is no.
Yeah, that's the answer.
The best.
He doesn't work here. He's not a worker. He doesn't understand pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And he's obviously too much of a fucking child. And when I say child, I don't mean in age. I mean in his behavior. Mentally, sitting there getting worked up over a live stream is what everybody wants to say. Like, I'm not excusing that. I didn't even mention that part in the video because it's stupid. I'm not going to hear that. If a guy fucking ran up and, if a guy just shows up and starts kicking your ass, do you give a shit for me to tell you, hey, did you know his live stream worked him up to get him to do that?
I don't think that's admissible. At all.
Whether it's admissible or not, like, as the person who got their ass kicked, does your mind change at all about this guy?
No.
Nope.
No.
Do you give the tiniest shit? What about if his dad's kind of famous and his dad said some stuff? Do you care what his dad said?
No.
Does that undo all of your teeth and shit being fucked up? Does that undo all of the fucking cracked bones in your face? Like, are they healed now? Because the chat did
not going to be. No.
Oh, you didn't mention that the chat worked them up. Oh, okay.
Right. Like, that's what people act like when they type that in the comments of the video, and I've seen it pop up a few times, and I'm like, what do you want somebody to say to that?
Like, I don't know.
Am I supposed to give a shit?
I don't. People always want to find like something, a fine line, right? A fine line. I'm not sure if they're trying to absolve him. I think some are, I think some people are deluding themselves like, oh, this was a work that went too far, but they're still working because
I think a lot of it stems from the original reporting, feeling the need to try to get more headlines by saying Rampage's kid.
Yeah.
Because then they have to tie it in and show Rampage riling him up earlier. Then they have to show the chat riling him up, and they have to use that framing of he was riled up. That's irrelevant as fuck.
Yeah.
That's
The responsible thing to do was to never let him near the
Right.
boys.
without having any understanding of what's going on, and being somebody who's going to buck up to the workers when the workers are just playing around with him in the back. No, get him the fuck out of there. Who the fuck is this guy?
That should have been a
Rampage
gigantic
Jackson's
red
son.
flag.
Don't give a shit.
Like,
Exactly. If you can't hang in the back, get out of the back.
yep.
Yep, that's extremely right, man. I love having this conversation with you guys. I loved getting you, Scott, and you, Gary, together because, like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, when I look for content on pro wrestling, I look for stuff where I know the creators are thinking, where people are actually putting in the work, and not to say that you guys are ugly because, I want to tell people, Gary and Scott are two handsome studs, not as handsome as my buddy there, Drew, but and I appreciate the part where you guys don't make the videos about yourselves, because some guys, I'm not gonna name them, some guys I know want to be the star of the video that they make of the promotion, or the subject, and for me, I get wanting to be on camera and doing that stuff, but I'm like, I appreciate that you guys aren't on camera and letting the footage, because I know Scott, you use a lot of found footage, a lot of stuff, because I love that King of the Ring video you just made, and
thank you.
and the USWA video.
Very proud of that one.
Go guys, check those out because those are freaking awesome. Oh, and I especially loved your Wrestling Association R Wrestle and Romance video, where you use where you use the soundtrack from WCW versus NWO World Tour. I love that.
People have mentioned that every time, and it all comes back to that being my introduction to Tenryu, was playing as his,
really? Sumo Joe?
phony. Yeah, so playing
Sumo
as his
Joe is how
phony-
you learned about Tenru. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like,
sick.
I really enjoyed playing as him in that game, and then years later, I ended up finding Tenru matches online, and I was like, holy shit! Wait a minute, and then
That is
immediately
the
that just
You
down
did-
the
Same
rabbit hole.
shit that happened with me, Hayabusa, and FMW.
Oh, yeah.
And how I got
Yep.
cracked
Yeah.
out on all that stuff.
Yeah, I love.
WCW NWO World Tour with
That's-
that was the
Yeah.
portal.
That's how I
That
got
was
into
the portal right there.
That's how I got into Sasuke. I'm
See?
a big Sasuke guy. Drew knows I'm a big Ultimo guy. I love that game. I love the.
See, one day we got to sit down on a parsec one day, do a tag team match.
I'm down. I'm down.
That would be. I know it would take me about an hour to relearn the controls, but I'm absolutely
Right.
down because that.
I don't know.
NWO
Those games
versus-
were pretty great about that. I
Yeah.
haven't played one in a minute, but I'm pretty confident in just picking those. I don't know. There's something about those, the old games controls. It was just you just grapple and then you grapple
Nostalgia.
again and you do a move,
Yeah, you just need to.
or you hit hard.
Yeah, I
They
love
were
that.
they were simple, but they were good. You could do all kinds of stuff on those. They had it was the sweet spot.
Oh,
Mhm.
man.
Whenever the heel couldn't pull the chair out of the audience, or the chair, they would reject them from being able to pull out a weapon or something. That was cool.
Yep.
There's a lot of things about those games
I love.
that were.
I love the reversals in that game. Like when you reverse a grapple, take the back, hit a German suplex, and then when you hit the German suplex on the guy no sells, runs up and hits a lariat. I love that.
Oh yeah.
That game had a lot of cool animations in it. See, now we're reminiscing about this. See, that's a good game.
Yeah,
That's a
That's
great
a
game.
good game.
To hell with Roger Jackson. All right, WCW NWO
Let's-
World Tour guys.
let's talk about the real,
That's
man.
the real
That's-
deal.
Because I love.
That's
I love that stuff, man. That is what introduced me to Poro. I mean, not really, because I think I told you guys this. I grew up next to a video store, right, and it was owned by Japanese people, so I was able to rent the FMW Laserdisc, I was able to rent the New Japan and All Japan Women's Laserdisc, and VHS, and watch New Japan, All Japan, FMW in sort of real time, because they would get the tapes like once they were available, the guy would always order them. And I was friends with the owner's kid, and the owner's kid said yeah, his dad was kind of super into wrestling. So I to actually play as them in the video games was actually pretty cool. And Hayabusa, man, you talk about Hayabusa. And what was his name in that game? Hannibal or something? And then
It's
Hannibal, yeah.
and he had that.
Well, if I could bring that full circle real quick, as Gary was talking about earlier, is whenever we talk about guys and the death match versus working spots and stuff, is there really any greater example of an instant thing than Hayabusa, that we don't think about guys working spots as being it
wasn't the death matches that got him.
It wasn't a death match, man. It was a slip on the middle ring whenever he's trying to do a moonsault. How many times do you think Hayabusa has done a middle rope moonsault in his life?
Yep.
Hundreds, thousands at that point.
It was a
Probably
mid-match
1,000.
spot for him. He would do a springboard into the ring, swanton, and then as he rolled and got up, he would just jump up on the middle rope, hit the backflip.
Yeah, we see your...
Yeah.
It was a great spot. I
We
think
see
El
your boy.
Phantasmo does it now.
Yeah.
He does,
Phantasmo and Seth Rollins.
There you go.
I'm recording right now.
But that's just to kind of bring it full circle, right? It's one of those perspectives. Hayabusa was before his time. He's great. He as influential of an individual as there has ever been in pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to play him as him, I was an Ultimo guy, right? All of the Pro Lucha guys in the game are just fantastic, and I just have so many fond memories of playing through all those different sequences of just, I don't know, Dragon Sleeper, right? Is how to think back that they animated the Dragon Sleeper back in a game in 95, 6 is just
Dragon
unbelievable.
Sleeper, the Liger Bomb, the Dragon Suplex. Man, when you hit that corner special Frankensteiner that he does, and it's his specific one, because I loved in that game that they gave everybody their specific
spin around.
The spin around.
You climb up behind them, look around at the crowd, put one leg up on the shoulder, spin around Hurricane Rana.
So good, so good.
Yeah.
I think about that, and I think about my memories of WCW.
The way that they landed, and he would land perfectly in position for the Dragon Sleeper. That was what made it the cleanest.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
it was great.
Yeah.
I loved how Ultimo also would be smiling the whole time when he has the guy in the Dragon Sleeper. He wasn't angry when he had it on. He was soming because he's ha, you can't get out of this now. And then the guy taps and he's just smiling ha 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 ha. And then then you have Sonny Ono come in, take that selfie. Memories. And I want to thank you guys for coming on to my show, giving me all this stuff, letting me reminisce on these things, talk about these current subjects. And I appreciate all of you giving me your time. And Drew, I want to tell you, man, this is the dream, man. This is what I always wanted to do with you, bro.
I firmly and earnestly appreciate it, right? I was going through the material, right? And you said, hey, there's these guys on YouTube. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Here's their stuff. Check them out and let me know if you want to do just a panel with these guys to discuss this Raja situation and some other things. So I'm watching through a couple of videos. Obviously, I want to understand Gary's point of view before we speak on it, so I'm watching his video on it. And then Wrestlespective, just trying to understand what your tone is. And that subscribe button was a real easy thing to hit for both of you guys. Because I really do like both of your material generally. It never came across my feed for whatever reason, but you guys seem to put an interesting and earnest perspective behind it whenever Ernest isn't so common these days. So I appreciate it.
And speaking of Ernest, my man Gary did a video on Ernest P Worrell, one of my favorite joke characters there is. You guys should check that out if you love comedy. If you love Ernest, go check out Grapplevision and his video on Ernest P Worrell. Jim Varney.
I can give you something exclusive that I haven't mentioned yet to anybody, but it's taking forever to do. So I will put it out on your thing now. So if anybody lasted this long in the thing, they get to know a thing that's taken me forever. Do you know about the script that was put out for the Ernest movies with the WWF?
Yeah, you were talking about that on the video.
What?
Ernest was going to make movies with the World Wrestling Federation in the early 90s and in the late 90s. See, one was going to be in the Attitude Era. I shit you not.
Really?
Wow.
So I have got a hold of the stuff for it.
Oh, man.
And I have been... This is going to take a while. Wrestlespective guy seems pleased with this. I'm happy.
I'm
happy right
ecstatic about this. I am going to keep my eyes peeled because
Yeah.
I gotta see this, especially if you have stuff from it. Like, I gotta see this.
Well, no, I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to try to build the movie.
We need to do
it won't be, of course, we don't have Jim Varney. So me and an artist lady are putting together an animation of sorts to just be the movie. It will take forever to animate the whole thing. We figured that out quickly. So the style will be kind of the style of a comic book, and like, turning the pages and just next scene, and it's all artisted out. But that is what's like, that's why I can't get anything out consistently, because I very much want this to be out yesterday. All right. If you remember when I did the Ernest video, I started working on it like a week later.
Yeah. Oh man, that was months ago. That's like almost like, what was that like? I think like you released that back when, like in February, something like that. But like that's tremendous. I would love to do a table read of that script, because Ernest, as a Filipino kid growing up in the U.S., I always like. It's not. There's some things that I connected with the white kids in my class. One of those things was Ernest goes to camp and Ernest Scared Stupid. I love those movies. Like, and
classics.
I was big on Ernest as a kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to talk again?
Turning this and like trying to be able to kind of complete an Ernest movie that nobody's ever got to see, and being able to kind of like do it in the fashion it's being done. A lot of miniature dreams I am fulfilling in my own head, but at the same time, I feel like I'm doing a good service to people who may have wanted to see it in all of its glory.
I am so excited right now, dude. I am so excited.
I'm sure. One thing I did keep with, I will tip this off. Ernest the Furnace is canon. In the Ernest wrestling thing, Ernest the Furnace is canon. He does. At one point in the script, he brings up his old wrestling days. So like that's here. I'll show you a picture of like me explaining that. You shouldn't show anybody yet, because I'm probably going to make this look a lot better. But that's what that picture is I showed right there. It's him explaining the old story of Ernest the Furnace.
That's great.
That's incredible.
Oh man, you're making my. We start this podcast always talking about what feels good about wrestling, and this makes me feel good to have this connection with you, Gary, to share this with Scott and Drew. This is freaking amazing, man.
I hope one day to get it done so people can see it. I am a very small percentage through the movie, but it will happen. This will one day get released. I hope very, very, very soon. Like it's not like a Patreon goal or anything, so it's not like I'm holding out and waiting to get more patrons. There's no like money goal. Nobody even knows I'm doing it. This is the first time I publicly mentioned that I'm even doing it. I've been working on it for like half a year. Maybe publicly mentioning it will make me bust my ass even harder to get it out.
Now people are going to be asking you questions.
I don't think that's the problem.
People are going to ask you questions about this, and like, man, I am so happy to break this and to have you guys on and to give me this time. And like when I think about like what makes me feel good about pro wrestling, and we were talking about the video games and how it makes you like, I loved how the video games opened your minds up to these wrestlers, because I'm sure like you didn't know this, Scott, where you saw like, yeah, where you saw like Tenryu like at WrestleMania 7 hit a power bomb with Koji Katal as his tag team partner, or see Tenryu in the 1994 Royal Rumble help bury Undertaker in that casket. And like that, this whole thing, like, and then just what I love about this world of pro wrestling fandom is it can connect me with all three of you guys to have this same like interest, and we see like what we have in common, even though we're all from different parts of the United States. Like I'm from LA, Drew's over from like Atlanta, and you guys are over where you're. I don't want to dox you guys, so it's just like I do think like being able to connect and talk and just be able to like share our views on this and just be open and happily sharing this information with each other and just having that dialogue. I think that's what people look for in like whatever fandom there are, but like that's what I find in pro wrestling is this kind of like open dialogue that I could have with anybody. And I want to tell this story a little bit because I'm sorry for taking so much of your time. Pump actually, he blocked me before when we first started talking on the Discord we were on.
Wow.
This is a fact, right?
Yeah. So
if a way back when, in a different Discord in a different time of both of our lives, I didn't get Dr. Lariat. I didn't get the bit. I didn't get his perspective. I thought he was being intentionally antagonistic. And the way in which that he eventually came around is he just kept spamming me. We should do a pod together. We should do a pod together.
Did you
We
work
should do a
yourself
pod.
into a shoot?
This is the most literal sense that I can imagine in my life, where I spun entirely back around and worked myself into a shoot in which I'm sitting down with you gentlemen because Doc is ever persistent, as you've probably found at some point, including tonight, whenever he's trying to get his technical errors ironed out.
He does not tap out.
He
Baby
does
face
not.
to the end over
Indeed,
here.
it's whenever it's tap or nap, he goes to nap. And I so I let him continue the story, but yeah, that's a long way to say that I absolutely at one point did have Dr. Lariat blocked.
Yeah. And like the thing was like I knew Drew had the same kind of like likes in pro wrestling as I did. So, you know, the way I post is I post a lot. And like eventually like he started agreeing with what I was saying. Once he started like, because I don't know, maybe like he stopped, like he's seeing all the X's on Discord, and then like he's like, you know, let me just see what he's saying. And he's like, you know what, I agree with him. And then slowly we started like being friendly with each other, and eventually we ended up in a couple other Discords that we both got kicked out of. and here we are today.
You guys have a hell of
the internet is a funny
right now.
The internet is a funny place, right? Is you want to give your perspective and you want to come from a place of your taste and you want to just say, hey, here's what I think, right? Is a lot of places in the world don't want to hear both sides of the coin. And have I been antagonistic in my life? Sure. I've been a heel on the internet. But a large time whenever it comes to my likes and what my preferences and my feel for the thing, I'm pretty. It's a pretty like it's a love it or hate it type of thing, which I'm sure that the both of you guys, right, at some point of your life, you've been in shouting matches on the internet for no other reason in a hobby in which guys get in their underwear and make pretend.
Well, touche.
So, it's the most
in and out
glorious,
of my underwear, if you could believe it.
in and out of your underwear. You have been in shouting matches over this for your certain points of your life has been a profession, but large in part a hobby for most, right? So out of all
Doing it for the
hobbies,
love of the game.
out of all hobbies, to get into flaming wars over, right? This is the funniest one to me of how self-serious individuals can be about their takes about professional wrestling, and it's an interesting dynamic that I would like to see us get away from. Is like further on, we do other podcasts. There's going to be times in which, at some point, one of us is going to disagree with somebody else, and it's there's both all three of you have shown civility, and I would like to see more discourse with civility.
I would like that, but I also accept that wrestling fans as a people are over dramatic, and that is going to make it very hard for a lot of them to kind of go in the tune that you're talking about.
You don't
Personally,
say.
I couldn't imagine being mad at somebody for liking different wrestling. I've always simply viewed it as any other form of entertainment. You know, it's like looking at somebody and they're like, you know, I like AEW or WWE, or I like death matches, I like comedy matches, I like serious matches, I only like lucha matches. It's like, okay, so, I mean, you like folk music, or you like rap, or you like rock music, or you like... I don't care. I've never been mad at anybody over a preference. I just don't care like that. I'm glad they like it. You have something you like, good.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then I don't know why you watch it so fucking much. Because I
God
don't
bless
know why
you.
I have to listen to you yell about this shit you hate so much. You got a TV remote, don't you? I mean, you get... What the hell happened? Who hooked you up to the Clockwork Orange machine and just made you watch all this shit you hate? What's going on with you?
What has been the comments in each one of your comment sections that have made you laugh the hardest?
I don't know if I should say.
Okay.
Now that sounds spicy, man. Can you edit it?
It was.
Can you edit it to be family friendly?
I could probably give you the second one. The one that made me laugh the hard, it was a guy trying really hard to be goofy and racist, and
oh boy,
he messed up so bad that what he said, it's like one of those things when someone says does when they mean doesn't.
Ooh.
So by the end of your sentence, you're completely fucked. So that one, that's the one that got me. I won't say what it was.
I love typos.
The second funniest comment that I think I can probably get away with saying was someone went to the channel and they typed in, do you even know anything about the Voodoo murders? How were they anything like the Gaijin Riddled Bullet Club? It was all native talent. You don't know anything. And maybe that shouldn't make me laugh as hard as it did. But when I saw it, like I did laugh, like for real, in person. I was like, damn, got me.
You don't know about the Japanese that's in Jamal in Ekifatu. They don't know the
have
Japanese.
You never heard of that native Japanese talent, D'Lo Brown?
Or that Japanese talent we got there, Giant Bernard, aka A-Train, aka
right.
Prince Albert.
The native Japanese talent, Rene Dupree. You've never heard of him? Fucking, like, what is this guy on about? The Voodoo Murders were the Bullet Club. But apparently me saying that, this guy was not pleased. He did not like me saying that. Exclamation points and all. So I got read the riot act about it, but it made me giggle. I thought that was pretty
Voodoo
funny.
Murders.
The Voodoo Murders.
That's somebody who just wants to be mad. Like, if you know anything about the Voodoo Murders, you know it's filled with gaijin. Like, it's a bunch of fucking guys from overseas.
Yeah.
It's not a shocker. Everybody knows that. That's just somebody who wants to bitch on the internet. Like, fucking, what do you mean they had only Japanese talent?
The only Japanese talent on that, and you'll like this, Drew, are Taru and Brother Yashi from Dragon Gate.
They got Suwama.
They had Kazuma.
They got Kojima for a minute. They had some. But it's like the Bullet Club. They have some Japanese guys, but they're also filled with gaijin. Right? They're the heel faction. That's how heel factions are in Japan. This is not science.
To bring it
but
to
this
like,
guy made it a whole thing.
Oh,
He was
man.
very upset with me, and I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah. To bring it to modern times, imagine somebody saying that about the House of Torture.
Well, I don't know. It would be like if somebody said, "What are you saying? The War Dogs are full of gaijin? You don't know anything."
Shout out to you, Clark.
It's foolish. It's just foolish.
What about you, Retrospective? What do you got, buddy?
So I mentioned this one earlier. I don't think Gare was there though, but there's two that stick out. The first one is my absolute favorite. This is a very good video by a millennial. I still don't know if it's an insult, but I will accept it as a compliment. The other one is there was one guy that went through like maybe 3 or 4 of my videos and just commented about the hashtags I was using. It just like, WWE has nothing to do with this video. I'm like, yeah, sure, but like, that's what people look for on YouTube, so I just use it. Like, I don't. And then I must have gotten the hashtags to his liking because he said, finally, the hashtags have something to do with the video. I'm like, I don't know, but like, I'm just trying to get it out there. So,
yeah, man. That's fantastic. I love
just
that.
obsessed with my hashtag usage.
There are people trying to police you on you. I haven't thought about it. I've had a couple people who showed up kind of in that motion where they were like, "Hey, do you even know that you're supposed to like not, you're supposed to use this and not this. You're supposed to do this. You're not. So why is your title that? You didn't spell their name right. They spell their name 4 different ways. I picked one. Don't at me with that bullshit. Why didn't you use this name? There's always going to be this gaggle of people on YouTube who want to just go around, police everything that you do, try to tell you that you're not doing it the right way, or if you do it this way, it's better. One of the big reasons my videos changed about 4 years ago, and it was because, like, I make the Wrestling Gets Real stuff because people like those. People want to see those. Fine. I make the other videos that I make because I like those. Like, these are videos that I would like to see.
Yeah,
and that's what you got to do.
I just make those. The one that I really don't like my least favorite video I probably made, is the Raja Jackson video. I don't like the video. I don't like the topic. I don't like the guy. I hate what happened. I hate that. And again, this isn't like a sliding because like that. You sent me stuff about it, and I get why, because I do the Wrestling Gets Real stuff.
Yeah,
send something happening to the Wrestling Gets Real, but I hated it happening. I hated that people expected me to kind of cover it in a way, but it's expected. I do the Wrestling Gets Real stuff, so people are gonna send me that. It's like a botch happens. Like, does the Matthew guy get to be like, I don't like that botch actually? What do you mean you don't like that botch? You can't just not like the botch.
It's a
you can't just not.
I think he has done that before, actually.
Well, like, in my head, I did have that rationale of, okay, I will not make anything until I know if he's okay.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that made it feel better, kind of, for me. But I mean, if we're real, that's an arbitrary thing I put there. Like, I could say it means something. I can mean for it to mean something. But realistically, it's just an arbitrary line I put there. Like, we do need people to cover it right when it happens. Not necessarily everybody and their mother needs to make the exact same video and just show a dude getting hurt and give no context to it and be like, oh my goodness, this is Rampage's son, by the way. # Rampage.
Shocked face.
We do need people to report on it. But at the same time, I think that it's really useless the way that most people did. So I had that in my head. I'm not going to cover it until I know if he's okay, and I'm not going to cover it in like just a regular Wrestling Gets Real, some text on the side explaining what happened. Like, it was a bad deal. So I explained it out, and it was not fun to make because I was still like, even if the guy when he woke up and he's okay, like he could be real bad off. We don't know yet.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really say about it and come off feeling good about yourself. And when people were making videos, like we were talking, right? We were just talking about it as it was happening, like an hour after it happened or whatever. And people already put videos on YouTube with the circles, with the arrows, with the thumbnails, and all that stuff.
Circles, arrows, the whole spiel. There's also Let's Talk About Chael and Rob Van Dam, because those are big names we can put in our titles and stuff. And it's like, realistically, I'm sure bigger names have talked about it. Like UFC has had Kevin Lee, that guy, he talked about it.
Yeah,
there are plenty of people I could have jammed in the video and then tagged them and been a thing. But at the end, what does it matter what anyone says? Look at what happened. All right. Now we've all seen what happened. I think we can all agree that bad. That definitely bad.
Anybody that says otherwise is to not be trusted.
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody gets into it. They all think that what happened was bad, but they're all like, it happened for this reason, or it happened because of this misunderstanding, or it happened for this and this and this and this and this. In my opinion, I don't care.
It shouldn't have happened.
Right. From beginning to end, there was no reason for Raja to be in the back. There was no reason for Raja to be interacting with Nick. Or, what was it?
Stu.
I fucked up his name. I said
Psycho.
Nick. It was Psycho Stu. I don't know why I said Nick. But Psycho Stu, there's no reason for him to be doing any of this. He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be given the green light to do any of it. There was no reason for it to happen. And then you see a guy just get, pummeled like that. It's not. It's one thing when two guys are in a back and forth.
Yeah, that's what a receipt. That's what a receipt is. A receipt would be given if a guy went a little.
I'll tell you, a receipt coming 2 hours later. That's a whole other thing.
That's a premeditated assault. That's what that's called.
That's what
vengeance.
Most people would call that.
Yeah.
A receipt is like you pop me in the mouth and then I pop you back.
And we're good.
That's a receipt. You kick me and it's a bit stiff, so I fucking fire one off on you. That's a receipt.
There's always hey man, ease up.
Right.
It's restrike.
Yeah, ease it up. Yeah, just chill. That's a receipt. That tends to happen when it happens. When you are like, let's do a receipt, but in like a month. That's what is that? That's not a receipt. That's when it becomes a premeditated assault.
Yep.
At that point, you are plotting to do damage to another person, and they're not going to know.
Yeah. I want to say that this take has probably been the most, I'm going to say it because I love putting people over. Well, I love putting myself over, but this has been like the most, it's a layered situation. And I think that the way that we've discussed it is something that other people don't really want to, because they like having the bombastic opinions. They like having the thumbnails on that.
They like to include Rampage. They like the name. Mm-hmm. When you put big names in your titles and thumbnails, that's the thing. Is the amount of people you can tie it to. That's what gets. That's again. I know I mentioned it over and over, but the whole thing of tying Rampage into this, I get that it's his son. It could be mentioned or whatever, but it was solely to get it going and trending.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I want to bring us back to like on a good note, because I love getting all this stuff out there. I love getting that surprises from you. Like, besides that, Ernest, do you guys want to promote anything you guys got coming out soon? Or do you guys want to keep that straight to your vest?
I gave up my biggest secret already. But I'm motivating myself.
Finishing an Ernest movie is a big deal.
That's huge, man.
That's going to be massive. I've got currently coming out this Sunday, Defunct Championship Wrestling episode 25, looking at Arceon, which transitioned into A to Z. So I can't wait to see the comment section on that one because of my mispronouncing Japanese names. But I tried really hard this time. So that'll be fun. And then, after that, this is the last one of my current planned slate. Actually have one more in the works right now. Just a retrospective of wrestling anime that I think Doc will get really a kick out of. I'm gonna highlight 3 and just kind of tell the history of it a little bit. As someone who's not into anime, I'm like really kind of interested in how it kind of grew from the 50s and 60s into today. So those are the next two up.
Hey, brother, if you need,
are you going to stop by Tiger Mask or
That's what I was going to ask.
any of that on the way in?
Yeah.
Are you tapping on it?
Oh yeah. We've got the 3 I'm highlighting are Tiger Mask, Jushin Liger, which I did not know was an anime,
really?
and apparently.
So
his original look was based on the anime, so
that's where the theme
that
comes
was
from.
that was pretty cool. Yeah. So it'll be those 2 and Want to Be the Strongest in the World, which is a female wrestling anime. So I'll be curious. I haven't really dug into it much yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
I gotta say,
I haven't watched it. I've seen it. I know it exists. So before anybody ever messages me like, "Oh, you've seen that? Let's talk about." No, I've not. I have not watched it.
I
know it's a thing.
I gotta say this, Scott. You're brave for one thing for talking about anime because now you're gonna bring like the anime people to the channel, but you're even braver for discussing Joshi. Because me and Pump have dealt with the Joshi sickos in our days. So,
can't wait.
Good luck on that, brother. I appreciate all 3 of you coming on. And I hope we can do this again one day. And I always ask this one last question. I don't think I asked this I think I did ask you this on the thing, but I'm going to switch it up and just ask for this. Since it's the end of the summer and at the summer, we all have a little nice thing to drink at the end of the day to relax and chill. It doesn't have to be alcoholic, but what's your favorite end of summer drink?
Ooh, I'm a big kombucha guy. Preferably like a mango flavored kombucha or something of that, something seltzery.
Nice.
Cream soda. I'm not like a crazy person to please. Very cold cream soda that's so cold it hurts when you drink it.
Nice.
Anything mango flavored. For some reason, the last couple of years, I've just been on a real mango kick around summertime. So anything mango flavored.
Yeah, that's not.
Peach soda. Small shout out to peach soda. Those are deceptively good.
Oh yeah,
had one of those recently. I'm gonna get more of that.
My thing I like because I'm a little bit fancy. I love pina coladas, and I also the thing that I've been drinking a lot because I'm in California. I'm in LA. I have a boba store next to me. Shout out to Bungalow Cafe. I am not sponsored by Bungalow Cafe, but if you find yourself in the Glendora area, please go to Bungalow Cafe. They have this drink there that right now in the summer. It's a watermelon slush. It's delightful. They use real watermelon. They put it in a slushy, and like it's so good. And I recommend that to everybody. Again, Bungalow, Glendora. Also have a location in Temple City. Try it anyways. I am not sponsored. And I just want to say thank you guys again for coming in. And I appreciate you guys so much. It's been my pleasure to have you guys on here. And thank you for staying with us for so long because this is the prescription. But at the beginning, this is what I would like to call Problematic Dragon. And you guys just been burned. So, feel the fire.